Which you could have the choice of facing a great offensive line or a quarterback that throws the ball really quickly, gets rid of the ball. Which do you choose?
I would say that's a good question. I'd say great offensive line. Like,
Why is that?
just for the reason you said, like the ball comes out. Like I played against Miami last year. The ball does come out fast, you know. Like, and when we played against Seattle last year, the ball came out really fast, and how it affects the rushers, and you know.
As you mentioned, you played Miami. Just what is it about that scheme and the weapons they have that stresses the defense?
They do a great job of like stressing you like across the field and vertically up the field, you know, like and then how they attack the edges of the defense. They do it in multiple different ways, the same thing, and they do a really good job. You've got to give them credit.
What was your view, I guess, of the run defense that Sunday?
You know, it's funny. It's those tiny. It shows when the team when they decide to run the ball, like, and it's what they're gonna do. It's an all-day affair, you know. And when you have to do that for 4 quarters, you've got to fundamentally be sound. I think myself, I've got to do a better job putting some people in the right positions, you know, at times. And when you get those explosive runs and a couple of more of them build up, it kind of affects what you're asking about is the run game stats, and that's where it affects it, you know. So, like, I think just cleaning up those things, really working on it, and when a team decides to do something like that, how we really shut the door, and that's the learning process. You know, it's a growth. Like, that's what we've got to keep doing.
How would you rate I know it's always going to be improving, but the chemistry of your linebackers and your D-line? T-Dot talked about that today in his press conference.
Yeah.
That's a critical piece.
No doubt. I think, like, you know, like, if you think about the operation of every play. So if you think, okay, the call comes into T-Dot, then T-Dot has to give the call to a group of people. Then he has to adjust the call. Like, those people have to learn how each other's voice. You have to learn T-Dot's voice. Then say, like, the call came in, you didn't hear it right, you got lined up wrong. They've got to be able to react to his call. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so the more chemistry you have, and then on the higher level of it, it's like when you have really good defensive linemen, you don't want to always put them in a box. You don't want to say they have to do everything exactly. Do you know? Like, and then, but to do that, you have to have a chemistry on both levels to understand how to play off each other at times. You know?
I think we talked about this on Monday, the unselfishness that's needed for those D-line so that the two can play. How important is that? So, like, Williams always, there's a couple of times where he just goes and makes the play in his lane as opposed to what else he has to do. So my question, I'm sorry for me rambling here, the question is the discipline,
Yeah.
the discipline that's needed.
No worry. I completely understand. Like, I think when you're developing a D-line, and the people that you have is one of the most critical parts. Obviously, you've got talent, you've got ability, you've got the way they do things, but the way they are as a group, they have to make a conscious decision of what they want to achieve. You know, like, because there's individual stats and they come, you know, but to, like, the best D-lines you can think of, they rush as a group, they play as a group, they play off each other well, they close each other's rush lanes when things are going on. You know, they understand, like, the depth of each other, who plays it certain ways, and that takes a long time. And you don't speed that process up, but the way you, like, kind of enhance the process is the way they do things together. So they get to know each other, like, on a kind of higher level than just surface level. Does that make sense? It's just like any work environment.
Well, a couple different defensive linemen have described Byron Murphy, saying he doesn't seem like a rookie. To you, what does that mean if you're hearing?
Yeah. I think there's certain parts of that statement I definitely agree with. Like, it's not like he has great ability, but it's not that. It's his maturity, the way he, like, attacks every day. Like, he sits in the room, taking his notes, watching film, understands what's going on, listens to the vets. He's not trying to necessarily, and if he is, he doesn't really show it, chase something that's not there. He just does his job, and he tries to improve on his job. And that, to me, that's kind of a rare quality for a young person, you know.
I think Tyrese played.
He, sorry. You caught me off guard right there. Yeah, no, sorry, right there. You caught me off guard. I was thinking of Tyrell when you said it. Yeah, he played. You know what? It's like when you come into a game, I think as soon as you get dropped into the game in the middle of the game, I think he done some great things. Okay, like his ability to hit the ball and tackle the ball and find the ball is there. I think the growth of his game is just doing it on a day-to-day basis in a real NFL game. You know, like I see that's where his growth is. You know.
When you're talking about the calls instead of coming in to Tyrell, how much does he have autonomy in certain situations with checks and adjusting?
No, it's just part of the defense. Like it's just how, like every play in most defenses, there's adjustments to certain things.
What was your view of the third and one stop?
It's a great play. No, same as your view. No, like I think that's like it's easy to kind of, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not downplaying anything. Like the run game is super important and you have to stop it. But that when you in the moment you come out and you're frustrated at times. I think we all are when we was left that game. You know, like we didn't show ourselves the way we want to show it. But if you really like step back and look at the game, there's some good things and the ability to stand up when it really counted. Like you think at the end of the game there was a 2-minute three and out stop, and then the start of overtime there was a 3 and out stop. That's great football. That's how you close out games. Like, and then it's easy. It makes life not easier, but it makes things a lot kind of simpler to focus on the details and the fundamentals when you come to the next week to improve it. Does that make sense?
We heard that Chris Partridge showed a clip of kind of a look that you guys were expecting on that play during the week. Do different what's like the role that different coaches have in that sense?
Yeah, it's like as we go through game plans, people have different roles, and part of the game plan is to look at it and say, okay, what do they do in these situations? That's just how coaches will approach it.
Miami's got a lot of speed. They run a lot of misdirection in their runs. How do you coach the team when you like don't get a false step, but you also got to get there quickly to get to the edge? How do you coach that?
There's lots of different things, but like I think at different levels, like when there's a lot of things moving, you have to, it's really about, and I know it sounds kind of cliche, but it's about your own defense and how you adjust, how you play your keys, and how you play on all three levels and communicate. You know, like that's how like people move and things and shift to put you in bad spots to create angles. You know, so like how you do those things is like what we're practicing for.
When you were with Dallas last year and you watched the film after the Seahawks game, did anything jump out to you about how Geno played?
When we played that, yeah, his ability to process and get the ball out fast. Like the ball was rolling out that game. Like it really was, and I thought he played great in that game.
Have you learned more about that aspect of his game now that you're been around him a lot?
Yeah, you see him every day. Like he impressed me from the day I got here. So great person, great leader, and you see his accuracy in the way he got the ball out. You know.
Is there something unique about his process too?
No, I haven't. Not really that. It was just like I see Grubb work with him, and that it's just his accuracy and those things stood out to me.
Saying all that, is it surprising how long he was a backup in this league before he got another shot here?
Yeah, I would say yes, but I don't really know his full story. I've never sat down with him to say that. But yeah, you see him out here, and like he's a star in this league, a very good one, you know. So like I would say yes.
Have you learned anything about Ryan Grubb since you started working together?
Yeah, he's a pain in practice, but no. Other than that, he's just as I get to know him, he's a great guy, and he's becoming a closer and closer friend.
Thank you.
Thanks.